2 a.m. in the car playing our favorite song. Turn it up, windows down, we sing along. The summer night has just begun. The moon is bright.
Morning guys.
Morning.
Welcome back to our channel. We are in a beautiful medieval town called Montpellier. We'll put the name on the screen because my pronunciation is terrible, but it's absolutely stunning. It's only a small town, but it's really, really lovely. I mean, it's like, how many 100 years old is it?
Well, it's from the 13th century. It's very medieval. It's got everything except a castle in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It looks like a movie set. There is a beautiful church in the middle of it.
Yeah,
And literally
gorgeous.
you are transmitted back in time.
Transported
Back in time to the 1300s. And it looks today very, very similar to it. It would do that.
And we're on an air. It's a lovely air, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
this is my favourite so far.
We found it on Park for Night. So it's a free air, free to park, 24 hours, no problem.
Yeah.
There are some services if you want to pay for them.
So you've got your grey waste and obviously your toilet, which obviously is free. Then you can pay, I think from memory, it's something like €2 for 100 litres of water. And there is an electric point on the actual stand. So there's no electric on the pitches because you just literally park where you want to. But there is an electric point. So if there's an emergency, you could actually plug in for a certain amount. So it's a really, really nice air, and we're sort of right on the end. So we've almost got like a private little garden. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, it's really nice, really pretty.
So no one can see us, thankfully.
And today we're going to tell you about 10 things that have happened to us in this first month of motorhoming. Now I don't know whether I'd call them 10 stupid things, 10 newbies, 10 crazy things, but there are 10 things that happened to us that we didn't expect, but they did, didn't they, Joe?
Yeah. And number one, not in any particular order, just as we remember it, was when Candy sat on the accelerator in the motorhome. Now luckily we were parked up and Paul had the motorhome in park. So something spooked her. Now she is anchored in the motorhome. She's on a harness and she's anchored. She can walk sort of in between us, and she sort of generally lies at my feet. But she heard a noise. She's quite a nervous dog, and she ran under Paul's feet whilst he was sitting there. We were just about to go, weren't we? And we were parked right behind somewhere, another car. And she just sat down, scurried under his feet, and sat
I think she ran under my feet because she thought it was the furthest point of the space that she was in.
Yeah.
And she literally sat right on the accelerator.
Yeah, right
the accelerator, luckily we were parked, was going rah,
as it was.
like we were sitting there like nutcases. We must have looked like nutcases.
Yeah.
We couldn't get her off for a couple of seconds. We didn't know what had happened.
Yeah.
The only thing, we looked at each other and said, if we'd have been parked up in a queue and in gear, well, we'd have just smashed into the car in front,
or even driving
on the motorway. It would have been so dangerous.
Yeah.
So we did learn our lesson.
Yeah.
We have shortened the lead, and we just thank God that we were parked. We thought of not even mentioning this because it doesn't put us in a great light, does it?
No,
but this is
an
accident.
Things, do you?
No, we're newbies. Everything's new. We're taking a dog with us.
Yeah.
We love her so much we wouldn't leave her behind, and this is a true thing that happened.
So now she can't get under Paul's feet. She lies by my feet, which is fine because I'm on the passenger seat obviously, but she can't get under his chair now. So that's lesson learned straight away. So that was number one. And number two, which you may or may not know if you've seen our previous videos, but we had an issue with the awning, and still got an issue with the awning, albeit a different one now. The issue was the legs. We couldn't get the legs back in correctly. They kept falling out.
Mosquito.
So we had to wind it in very gently and then sort of pop the legs in further when it was towards the motorhome. But we figured that out. They sent us a video and we figured that out. So that's sorted.
Even other campers came to help us, and nobody could tell us that we needed to twist this leg round in a position that we
You
wouldn't have worked
think,
out ourselves. But they gave us a video from our dealership in Spain.
Yeah,
We managed to
good.
do it, but from then on, we then rolled out our awning fully, and then we
Yeah.
tried to then bring it back, and then you know when things get sort of screwed, skewy, you can see like a line appearing in the middle
Yeah.
where you're sort of trying to wind it back in.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really winding back in straight, but adding insult to injury, when we get to the very, very top, it just will not close.
No.
I mean, it's sort of open about that much. So now we're driving anywhere, driving down the road, even if we have to go,
Yeah.
we're driving to another part of 4.5 hours to Biarritz area, maybe tomorrow, and we're going to have to leave it open. We've spoken to our dealer. They've said as soon as you come back, book it in, and we'll look at
which
it.
we have done. So we booked in for the
But
middle
it's
of
not
September.
something we can figure out.
No, and we don't want to mess with it because obviously warranty and all that.
Exactly.
So, but luckily we can still use it. So thank God for
Number
that.
3.
Number 3. Oh yes, we was on an air in France a couple of weeks ago now, maybe 2 weeks ago, and we just turned up, parked up. It was the one where Candy got stalked by them sheepdogs. But I was in the motorhome, Paul was chilling outside, and he was just sitting there, and I heard, he saw it, this enormous bang. I'm like, what's going on? And a branch, huge branch, had just fell off a tree for no reason. It wasn't windy, it wasn't anything, was it? And it just fell, and it missed.
Well, I was
this
sitting
motorhome.
outside like I am now, and in front of me there was a camper van with a trailer, and on the other side was another camper van, and in the middle was a space where you could have parked another little camper.
Yeah.
And I heard this crack. This great big branch came straight the way down, smashed. As it came down, I could see his camper van, so I thought it had been hit, but God knows how it didn't hit. But it hit the floor. Everybody was startled, jump up. The owner of the site came running out. I offered to help to lift this great big branch, and it took 2 of us. And once I started dragging it with this guy, I wish I hadn't offered, because I tell you what, I was using all my strength, and me and this guy was just hardly moving. And I thought to myself, if that branch had hit that, it had written off a camper, it had written off our van.
Yeah.
If it had hit a person, a child or a kid, there were children playing
Or
on
anyone.
bikes 10 minutes
Yeah.
earlier, somebody would have been killed. So he said to me straight away, he's got some big decisions to make. And he did, he actually took everybody off this one side of the site to a site that wasn't being used,
Yeah.
took everybody off and gave us the choice of staying there or moving. But because we were going, literally, we were the people that were there only for a couple of days, the other people seemed to be there for a month or more.
Yeah.
So we said we'll stay where we are, but we parked in the middle of the trees because we were in the middle of a heat wave.
Yeah,
So we were trying to keep cool.
Yeah.
So we thought if anything does drop, hopefully it might just hit your van on the way down on the side, but it wouldn't have landed right on top of you. But the next day was a big storm.
Yeah, we had storms, didn't we?
So the trees were going crazy all through the night. We heard small things hitting the motorhome roof.
He said it had not happened before.
Yeah.
So
Said they have a lot of storms, but it never happened. But it was a
Yeah.
nervy
it was dangerous.
moment,
So-
especially when you're 2 weeks into having a new motorhome.
So don't park under trees if it's windy. Okay, the next one was quite an important one, and the biggest one for me was the lock on the door. Again, we've mentioned this in a video, but basically the habitation door has got 3 locks, like all of them have, I presume. The top one and the middle one are okay, but the bottom one does not lock at all. It's something to do with the actual piece of metal that it sort of clips round. There's something wrong with it. We've tried to do it, but it's a special tool and we can't do it. So basically the bottom of the door, you can push it out and you can see daylight. So it is a bit of security
Anybody
issue.
could
Yeah.
open that door.
I mean,
with
even
the
when you-
hands in the
yeah.
video I've showed with the hands. I don't want to go into too much detail because we've still got to be
Yeah.
carrying on. We
Yeah.
are driving now and trying to find somewhere where
Yeah.
we can go and get it fixed.
We do secure it when we
We
go
do,
out
yeah.
from
We have a
inside.
ratchet situation
Yeah.
now, which made Joe feel a lot better.
So
And thirdly, we are looking to put an outside lock on
as well.
even before we get it
Yeah.
fixed by the official dealers.
Yes, I mean, if we get it fixed on the way, brilliant. If not, we are booked in to do that.
But it's not something that we imagine would happen on a brand new
Of
motorhome.
course not. No.
And at one stage, the top lock and the bottom lock wasn't working.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the
Bottom
top lock
seems to be okay.
seems to be okay now, but the bottom lock is actually broke.
Yeah.
Literally broke.
So,
And the next one.
and the next one is, what's the next one?
I hit the side of the motorhome in a little French
I'm glad it was even not
village, and we went around this very narrow road.
Yeah.
We were warned before we bought a caravan, don't buy anything more than a 6 metre one, because of the fact you'll be going through some very, very small roads in Spain. We've now got a 7 metre one, and we think that's absolutely fine. But we were driving through a little village in France to another free air that we'd found that was wonderful to stay. And as it came round this road, there was, on the end, there was a sign stuck out. It said 30 kilometres an hour, a big red sign. I've got a picture of it, and I'll try and put it up here. And we wanted to go left, but we'd have been better off if we'd have gone right, because if we'd have gone right, we definitely wouldn't have hit the sign, but we wanted to go left. So I swung the motorhome round very, very slowly, and I could hear boom. That's when it hit the sign.
Yeah, you know when you hear that scrape and you just think, oh.
And then I'm saying to Joe, I need to go back. Well, sometimes we have a difference of opinion, because Joe's going, no, go forward. Oh, why should I go forward? I need to go back. Go forward. So I go forward, and I on the brand new side of the motorhome that's a couple of weeks old. So then I think to myself, I've now got to go back. Plus, I've got to go back over what just created this terrible noise. I imagined that the side of the motorhome was going to be really caved in, and I felt sick as it happened. But I managed to pull back, get around, millimetres to spare, just by really trying to stay cool in this situation. And then when we got out, we parked up, and there is a scratch. There are scratches. You can see where it's happened, where literally it must have kept it in and just scratched.
Yeah.
Luckily, it hasn't dented. I mean, in a certain light, you'll see a dent, but it wasn't. I thought it could be caved in.
Yeah.
But that's my fault.
Yeah.
Put my hands up to it.
It happens.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it happens. So the next one is just 2 days ago, wasn't it?
Yep.
Paul was emptying the toilet cassette out in air, and I was just tidying stuff up in the garage. I think that's what I was doing, and I heard crash bang wallop. I looked over, and there was Paul flapping around with his hands, and he chucked the cassette toilet on the floor. And I thought, what's happened? I don't know. I thought something, maybe a hose had come out and it just made a noise. I don't know. So I carry on doing what I'm doing, and I heard it again. And there he was, flapping around. So tell him what had happened.
Well, I got stung by a wasp 3 times
At the same time.
in a minute. And normally I don't have a problem with wasps. I'm not scared of them. I'm not afraid of them. I'm respectful to them. I don't flap around when they come to me. I understand that they mean me no harm. This one, as soon as I put the water on, it came towards my chest, and it wouldn't sort of go from my chest area. So, and then I'm carrying the cassette toilet, and then it stung me on the hand, and it really hurt. You know, when it's like a real stabbing one.
So obviously he reacted and
he's one of them
the
big
cassette,
wasps with the
legs.
leg dangles down. So straight away I threw the cassette toilet on the floor, and all these things that attached to it broke off. Oh my god! And then I picked it back up. There's a man charging his Tesla. Must have thought I was crazy.
Yeah, he did.
Picked it back up, stung again, threw it back on the floor. Ow! Started swearing. Couldn't help but swear. And then the 3rd time, grabbed it again, stung me again. I thought, this is it. Joe turns up. What's going on here then? What's going on and what's happening? What's all this commotion?
To be honest, his fingers, his little finger are swollen.
Yeah,
he did have a piercing straight away.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
And a little finger.
You know what men
Twice
are
the
like.
size it normally is. Oh,
They make a bit of
I'm
a
not
fuss.
giving you a sign. I'm just. So that was that. So I'm very, very wary.
Yeah, but
now.
it's still aching,
It
isn't
is
it?
burning,
Which
certainly.
is a bit strange because he's had 2 periods on, but you know what men are like.
Unbelievable.
So the next one is we were on our way to Carcassonne.
Yeah.
And we were going to go the scenic route. So we there was this barrier, and it said, Paul said, you know, what's
Well, there was a sign saying no lorries.
Yeah.
So I thought that doesn't say no motorhomes.
No, that's true.
So I said to Jo, I said, what size are we? And she
I-
just said 2.3,
Yeah.
which is the width.
Yeah, because I wasn't concentrating. I was just thinking of something else, and I said, "Oh, we're 2.3. We're all right. That's 2.6."
So that was this height barrier with these really heavy flaps of
Yeah, you know, like sometimes
rubber.
they have these flaps of rubber that hang down from the barrier itself.
And they've got them, so if you're in a lorry, you could hear them. So as
Yeah.
we're going underneath it, they're going bang, bang, bang. Jo went, that's the
I
trees.
just thought it was branches.
I said, it's
I
not.
just was not with it.
That's part of that height sign. I said, but we're all right.
We got through, didn't
Yeah,
we?
I said, because we're only 2.3. She went, oh, that's the width. And I went,
You
oh.
told me it was. I went no. You know, it was
She
one
went
of those
with,
moments.
she went with 2.95 or
2.89,
2.89. So then as we're driving further, we see
A bridge. There's like a bridge.
And another sign.
One. Oh no.
where I knew, I thought, Joe's
wouldn't
going,
have got through.
well, just risky. Go through. I said, Joe,
No.
there's a reason why we've got to stop and turn
Yeah.
around on this little road. And Joe's going, you can't turn around, you can't turn around.
Oh, we did get some.
I know.
stuff
And I
like-
saw a little way, a little part to the right.
where you could reverse.
So I literally stopped all the traffic, reversed. People were bibbing, swearing. Just,
It feels such a wally, but they act as though the people in the cars, as though you've done it on purpose. Obviously, it was a mistake, and you feel a wally anyway, don't
the only
you?
thing I can say is when you're in a situation where everybody's going crazy and you know it's your fault, the one thing you can't do is get into a flap.
Which I would.
And I think that's a natural response for people to get into a flap. What I do, because I could get into a flap, but I know in that moment that I can't. So what I do, I stop everything in my mind, and I don't let the thoughts come to me, and I block everything out, and I just think, right, do what you need to do to get out of this situation.
Yeah.
And when I hear horns shouting,
Yeah.
I literally do what I've got to do, get out, and the heart starts beating fast, and I go, Joe goes, oh, you coped with that well. I thought, well, there was no choice.
I'd have,
There was no choice.
run out the motorhome for you.
Oh my God.
So that was that one. That was a bit of an airy moment. What else? What else we got?
And the window breaking,
Oh,
which was only a couple of days ago.
this was a Paul class. This was class act. So we sometimes, if we're on an air like this one where it's, you know, quite secure, we do leave the windows open because it has been very hot. It's cooled down a bit now, thankfully. So the window is open, but it's been getting chilly sort of in the middle of the night, hasn't it? So in his infinite wisdom, he wakes up half asleep and grabs the window, and instead of actually grabbing the little ankles that you pull in, he grabbed the arm. So he grabbed the arm and it just bent. It's like a 90-degree angle.
I should have a picture of it.
Yeah, you've got a little video of it, haven't you?
Yeah.
So it just bent, and it was pitch black. It was the middle of the night.
So I know if Joe sees it, she's going to go mad. So I told her not to look.
And then he couldn't close the window. He
said,
couldn't
I'll
put the thing up.
I said, I'll probably fix it before you. I thought, if I don't break it, I thought I'll probably fix it before you see it. So she went out in the morning, and I put the bed up, forgot about it, and the electric bed, I heard it go boom, and then it hits it, makes another dent in the arm of the
But
window.
all these
Oh,
things, I'm
God.
glad he did it, because if I'd have done it,
But I did manage then to go outside very carefully, bend it back into shape.
thankfully.
And it's not as good as new, but
Yeah,
it's getting
it
there.
all works
It's
fine,
getting there.
doesn't it? It all works.
to be fair, a lot of things are cheaply made.
Of course.
You know, they're not
yeah.
made out of iron
No.
and steel. They're made
No.
out of bits of bendy
Yeah,
metal.
But at least you can bend it back.
Yes. And the last one, my dear,
Ah, okay.
the invisible dealer,
Yeah.
where we drove 60 kilometres.
Yeah, because we
To-
were told that there was a dealer, a Bendimore dealer, to sort out these problems.
In Perignon?
No, it was not. Oh, the Perignon, yes. Then they sent us, because they didn't have any
Oh, yeah,
technicians, to a place called Narbonne or Narbonne.
Yeah.
So we drove the 60 kilometres there.
The next day.
Went out of our way because it wasn't on our route. Set the sat nav up, drove there, and it took us to the train station. There was
very tight train station.
Yeah.
So we sort of parked in where there are all these like Avis
And
cars.
we're sitting there like,
Joe's going, "You're not going to get the motorhome in there." And I
Where's
said,
the
"This is where he's
dealership?"
leading us."
I mean, it
And
can't be right because there's no, if it's a dealership, there'd be places for motorhomes.
so we were getting
Yeah.
stuck, and we were looking around. We got out, had a look, and there was no Benham dealer.
It was just nowhere in sight. So Paul got onto the website.
Yeah, so
again.
Waze took us there from
Unbelievable.
clicking on it, or Google took us there. So then I put the Benham dealer in again, which told me that we were 2 kilometres away, but it now was stated that it was closed on that Monday.
Yeah.
So even if we actually drove to it,
Yeah.
it would have been closed. So that was a complete waste of time. So then we decided to drive,
Where did we
towards the
go then?
Dordogne.
Yeah, which is where we've been.
Which has
for
been
the last week or so.
which
We've had
has
some,
been, which is superb, and we're
We've
still
had
here.
some cracking park-ups,
Yeah,
haven't we? A lot of them have been free by the river. It's been really good. So, what would you say is a few of the challenges being in your motorhome?
The
last
challenges. Well, I think there are some proper challenges, such as you need water, and you need electric,
Sometimes you need.
and you need food. So
Well,
I think
obviously.
those are challenges. But with the electric, we try to go to a lot of places where you don't have to hook up,
Yeah.
and we've got our own solar
Panel.
battery pack and
Yeah.
solar panel, which we'll show you in another video.
Yeah.
And that's been absolutely brilliant. For water, you've just got to make sure that every 4 days you go and get filled up.
Yeah, I think what it is rather than it being a challenge, you just got to have a little bit of planning, a little bit of, and I'm quite a planner anyway, my mind works that way. Paul's a little bit more relaxed. So I just think if we're off grid for 4 days, towards the end of that 4th day, we're going to have to look and find somewhere where we can go and fill it with water, empty the waste, definitely empty the cassette toilet, even probably before that. So you've just got to plan a little, just have a little bit of thought in your mind as to where you're
This is a
be.
message to newbies. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there who've
Yeah, of
had
course.
motorhomes
Of
much
course.
longer than us. We're
Yeah.
not talking to you.
Yeah.
We're newbies. We didn't really think of. We've got a caravan, and we have gone around Europe in a caravan, so we've got a little bit
Yeah.
of an idea.
Yeah. And as for like food, as Paul mentioned food, and obviously you need food, but I think he means like just make sure you got a bit of food in stock. We've got a few tins of stuff.
Well, also make sure you got your alcohol, your crisps,
that's
your chocolates,
terrible.
because
That's
those are the sorts of
terrible.
things as well that you've got to be able
Oh
to
really?
keep going with. But the great thing about Spain and France is that there are Lidls everywhere. Every town's got a Lidl.
I mean, France, to be honest, for motorhomes is heaven, because there's just like places to empty your waste everywhere. I mean, we went to a little place called La Roque. It was just a lovely little town, and we went to park up, normal car park, and they had all the services there. It wasn't a place to stay overnight, but they just had it, and we needed it at the time, and they've just got them
Really?
everywhere. It's just been really good. So we'll miss France when we go back to Spain.
We certainly will. Well, I think that's a good time to wrap it up there, Joe.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
okay.
information.
Am I waffling?
You could be.
Okay, so we hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope we've taught you some things and things that we've done that hopefully you won't do. And please like and subscribe.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to us if you
Yeah,
do.
And please leave us a comment. We love comments.
Yeah,
We like answering the comments.
we do.
So we'll see you on the next one.
See you in the next one. Bye.